Revenue leakages through service contracts or outsourcing of work, intentionally or unintentionally, are widespread throughout industries and professional organizations. According to audits, raids, investigations reports, and media news we come across frequently. Significant revenue or money is lost due to revenue leakages through service contracts. This revenue leakages occurs due to either lack of knowledge or ignorant or unethical behavior of employees and contractors during contracting process or while executing jobs through awarded contracts. Just search and scroll on internet related to corporate frauds or contracting practices. In abundant information are available, including survey reports depicting the seriousness of the matter. Despite the extensive use of technologies and law enforcement, the industry's corporates continue to face challenges in mitigating leakages causing monetary losses. Organizations with robust internal controls do help to detect red flags and investigate to identify causes so that leakage could be arrested. There are various areas and functions where internal controls requires to be applicable depending on the type and scale of business or organization and outsourcing needs. Here I will share, based on my experience, on major three areas of control and the governance mechanism, which is common for all kind of businesses and organizations. The first area is audit and investigation. Second area is adequate bidding process. And third area is human resource and behavioral aspects. The first one, audit and investigation. The chairman and the managing director's office where I had worked had appointed very prominent auditing agency possessing extraordinary expertise in audit and investigations of very large and integrated organization. One of their audit report was locally provided to manufacturing site where I was working, which said we had leaked rupees 15 millions approx due to inadequacy in contracting process of a minor project. We had to challenge them and CMD's office for lack of proper audit investigations. We had to prove our integrity of department, team and contracting process. Rather, there was saving considerably on her side in this case. Through joint meetings with topmost authority with us and auditors who performed investigations, the findings that we proved were: the investigators were lacking knowledge on subject that is service contracting. Their interpretation, which were on assumptions, had led to false analysis. They also lacked knowledge of ERP or SAP system, which led to extraction of incorrect data used for analysis. The report writing was also poor and their communication lacked wisdom. Overall, what we proved that the CMD's office appointed agency was paid premium rates for their extraordinary reputation, while the quality of auditors and reports were not anywhere near the expectation. They were highly immature and experience lagged in deliverance. That is, intentionally or unintentionally inappropriate practice of appointing and functioning of audit agency existed contracted in CMD's office itself. The auditors, investigators and controlling people need to be expert in the subject. They need to be thorough with the procedures defined and have knowledge of systems. Not ensuring it or complying to it may cause revenue leakages, may encourage to fool them or misguide easily and enjoy to escape irregularities. But the fact is, we do come across investigators and controlling people with lack of basic expertise or knowledge. Why this should happen at all? This will be addressed when I talk on the third area, human resources and behavioral aspects. Before I dive into second area of control and governance mechanism, for who don't know, I am Dhaval Dolakia, having more than 34 years of experience in petrochemicals and engineering industry. The second one, adequate bidding process. Organizations have laid down procedures for contracting, may have softwares for issuing and handling inquiries to vendors and acquiring responses, may also have audit mechanism, but we experience the deviations taken by one or other way, such as practice of elimination or reducing competitive vendors, prejudiced and unfair vendor selection, prejudiced and unfair negotiation and vendor management, prejudiced and unfair acceptance of bid. For example, low bid with knowledge that over or false payments can be extracted. The job executing authorities need to understand that contracting mechanism is for organizational advantage and would consist of, as expected by management, the change of agency, change of resource. Also, the new agency and resources need to be acquainted with job process and the location. However, the executor expect permanency of agency and or resources they have comfort with, and hence insist and push for the same agency or the resources. We come across incidences where a leader position or authority saying that if production hampers due to malfunction by jobs handled through contract, the contracting and finance people will be responsible if agency or the resources are changed. The contracting team and the finance team avoid this by taking it in writing from the authority and go with his decision in one way or the another. There are ample of experiences, and I am sure you all too must have gone through similar experiences of reduced competitive vendors, unfair vendor selection, unfair negotiation and vendor management, and unfair acceptance or rejection of bids. The contracting team and finance team have to demonstrate ethical and integral behavior. They cannot join hands with job executor to let revenue leak. The third one, human resources and behavioral aspects, which is the most important to maintain self-discipline, management integrity, and controlling irregularities. In organization, employees will not have permanent roles and responsibilities. There would be transfers, promotions, some leave the organization and some would retire superannuate. The system and informations and knowledge may dilute overall of the contracting team or department. Human resources department needs to ensure transfer of the system, information and knowledge to next generation or new person taken in role and introduced newly. I have witnessed severe damage of revenue loss due to lack of transfer of knowledge and information. It generally happens as manpower are replaced and the living person do not provide adequate information. However, human resource department feels they have fulfilled manpower requirement, their job is done. There is no guarantee that person's behavior and habits will not change. But the person selected for function of service contracting have role in finalizing rates and vendors must not have only skill related to the function. His or her background must be scrutinized and reviewed. Required behavioral aspects must be well defined and candidate must be qualify equally to the skills or expertise defined. In field of service contracting, there is always concern that vendors, employees, higher authorities, politically influenced persons will try to influence the contracting person or the team, either by pressure or lucrative offers. We have also witnessed vendor paying major illness bill of relative of procurement officer, which puts him in vendor's obligation. Thus, contracting person must be trained to face and avoid such pressures and circumstances where they don't end up losing the integrity and ethics of the system. It's not training for once, but repeatedly the process must go on, monitoring behavioral changes and taking feedbacks to ensure person does not lose integrity under pressure and circumstances. The deployment or promotions, rise, appreciation, etc. must be done ethically. It is more often witnessed or experienced by each of us that some people gain sponsorship of particular authority or authorities and successfully get the growth, rise, and the deserving candidate are left out. Where documentally you will find all processes are rightfully done. Well, management itself sets example of not following ethics. The trust of employees are lost. And on other hand, management wants employees to demonstrate ethics, trust and loyalness to the organization. With this contradicting behavioral scenarios of employees versus organization, I conclude this 20th and the final video on sharing my experiences of various causes of revenue leakages through service contract or outsourcing of work. Thank you very much.